Hello, welcome to my video about Photo Montage app and how it led on to another form of app which I intend to release. So the Photo Montage has quite a long history. There's a product ideation history. This goes back all the way to 2002 when I started using what was in Windows at the time. I had a web desktop. They could add images and drag them around and make a nice little collage, and but you can't blend them together. But I found that very interesting. I found that very creative. It was quite useful to me and sort of fun. And then that led on a few years later. I actually wrote something using Dreamweaver, which did a similar sort of thing, but this time with being able to blend the opacity of the images together. And it's great to be able to set multiple images as the wallpaper, because it's usually just a single image you can set. And here's the Photo Montage app, which is still in development, being coded in Apple Xcode there. This is on Mac OS, but Mac machines. You see some of the code there. This is just building and starting up. And then here it is, open some images. I got someone managed to find the original images I was using previously. And you can drag them around. And set various composition effects. Resize it as well. These are different blending effects you can set, just like you can in Photoshop. I think you get some quite nice effects there. There you go, you see that again. You can save the layout as a file to restore it later if you want to. And eventually this will have the ability to, you'll just hit a button to set the desktop wallpaper, or on mobile devices as well. I was saving the project file there. Of course, in Mac OS you can add images straight from the Photos app like that. And eventually this will have a lot more effects you could use on the images, hence the app that came out of this, but we'll get to that part. can directly select the image in the menus there. Here we get to adding more image effects. And this is Apple's Apple Core Image Library. This is what is being used on all Apple mobile devices, Mac OS. Whenever you see an app using graphical effects, you're probably using this. I've got quite a nice API documentation here, but it's not easy. You have to go through every single filter separately to see the preview of what it does. As you can see there, that's some kind of blur filter. So they give quite nice previews, but they're all separated on each separate part of the web page. So I thought to myself, hang on, there's a lot of things to browse here. I need a helper application to actually list all these previews, give a live preview of an image you're putting into it. Kind of the unexpected that came out of Photo Montage. And I thought, hang on, I can sell this app to other developers. This is Filter Browser here building and there you are. That's basically a collected version of what you see on the Apple web pages that we saw previously, but you can input your own custom images, then it generates the previews, and it's just supposed to be a quick way for developers to preview what the graphic filter is going to do so they can select the right one for their app or whatever they're doing. It's got a full preview as well. If you click on the image, it will bring up a full size preview of the effect. See, that's some quite interesting effects, but they're sort of buried in the library, so you might miss them if you're just going through the website. A pointillize effect. And this app has actually moved forward a lot from this video I recorded. There are now different sections you can select to so if you only want to look at the transition filters, for example. That's opening a new example image. You can see that being applied there. And now those images are being used in the preview generation. And that's a live search, so it will quickly find whatever filter you're looking for. So if you take some time to look, then and this app should help you do that. You can find some really interesting effects. I think that's quite interesting. And of course the filter is linked to the back to the documentation, so you can see the code examples there for when you're putting together some kind of code base on this. So there it is. That's a demo of the core image filter browser. And I thought, is there anything, what is what I found? I did actually look for this kind of app for my own usage to begin with and couldn't find anything, which is why I started writing this. There's very basic releases out there, often unmaintained now. This is one, core image toy, similar sort of thing on mobile, where you can see you can select a input image, I think, then it will generate previews. I don't think this is maintained now. Yeah, that's what I found with this one. It's quite complicated. When really you're just trying to quickly find a filter. Again, that's what I thought. What I could add all sorts of ways of adjusting the internal parameters, but do you really need to? I mean, you're just quickly looking for a way of finding a graphics filter. Yep, already have that feature. Yeah, and this app's being sold for free. Doesn't always help with development, you know, need some kind of compensation for the work you're doing. This is another example of a competitor, core Image Labo. Again, it's overcomplicated in my opinion. Not as clear, that kind of thing. And again, what it doesn't say here, where's the incentive for future development when we're paying £90 a year, well, 79 I think it is, to Apple developer license, for the Apple developer license. There's another one, Filterpedia. This is on GitHub. Again, you know, last commit was 9 years ago. This is not in active development anymore. But again, you can see it does a general sort of give you previews of the Apple core filter. Yeah, again, I'm 90 years old. As far as I found, there's nothing really current out there. So that's it. This is what inspired my helper app based on work on Photo Montage. Thank you for listening.